Asian Boss. Asian Boss. This YouTube channel. I've been following this channel for since its inception when the two guys, the Korean guy and the Japanese guy, first started out making videos. And it's grown into this like how can I say Asian media channel where they just cover topics from around all these Asian countries like Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Cambodia, and all that. And yeah, this recent video is talking about the Japanese 4-hour work week or 4 day, sorry, work week.
For decades, Japanese working culture was notorious for the long hours put in by company employees. But in recent years, there has been numerous efforts to combat this culture of overworking. In August 2019, Microsoft conducted an experiment in its Japanese offices where it gave every one of their 2,300 employees Friday off. And days ago, they announced that this caused worker productivity to increase by 40%.
Okay, so this is true. Okay, I can give you my perspective on this case. Productivity in Asia is terrible. Okay, don't believe what you see in front of you. Okay, like when you see Japanese people or Korean people working 6, 7 days a week, like insane hours, that's all bullshit. Because I've seen it firsthand. I've worked in these buildings firsthand as an employee, and I've seen what goes on. Not a lot goes on, okay? Most of these businessmen or these higher ups, these people that are making your smartphones or electronics or important, very important people are just desk warming at the end of the day. Most of them are just desk warming. They're just sitting at their desk, keeping it warm, okay? Not a lot of productivity is seen throughout the day. I've seen people that start their days like 5 a.m. They show up and then they don't leave until like midnight. And I watched them like a hawk. I watched them like a hawk. And what I've seen is they don't really do much in terms of productivity. And I always quiz people, other employees, Korean employees, Japanese. And I'm like, what do you guys do throughout the day? Like, give me a synopsis of what your schedule looks like every hour. And you would be surprised. Like, not a lot of it has to do with the actual work that they were hired or paid to do, because it's all about face in Asia. And I think that, yeah, there's a clash now going on between old style of thinking and the new style of thinking. The old style is the traditional style, like work at your desk, stay there 6, 7 days a week, keep your boss happy, keep the harmony happy, keep that's the old style. The new way is like what we're seeing right now, like, less work days and more productivity. Duh. Do you know how many people or workers waste their time reading books, like looking at YouTube videos, or just playing video games at their desk? And it's seen on the outside as being productive because they're at their desk all the time. So this is not surprising.
Yeah, in a society where the hard work and devotion to one's company has long been the
Devotion to one's company. That's another problem. The Asian thinking. Devotion to one's company. Once you work for a company, it's not like a job over there. Like, not like over here in North America. It's more like you're married to someone. Okay? When you marry someone, you don't think about divorcing that person. No, you think about staying with that person for the rest of your life till death do us part. That's what devotion to a company is like in Asia. You work at Samsung, you work at Samsung for the rest of your life. You work at Sony, you work at Sony for the rest of your life. You are married to your job. And the sad thing is, I've tried dating like girls that are in these companies. And I know for a fact that every time I try to date one, it's doomed to fail because their first boyfriend or their first husband is always their company boss. Okay? This is pro tip for you. Any of you guys that are dating a Korean or Japanese or an Asian girl that works in one of these offices or companies, there's going to be a lot of friction between you and her job. Her job comes first, and you will always come second or third. And my advice to you, if you try to date one of these people, my answer is don't. It's just a waste of time. It's just, yeah, it's an uphill battle. It won't end well. Because, like I said, they work 6-7 days a week. On their days off, they sleep. They sleep. They just sleep. Literally sleep throughout the whole day on their day off. And they do it again, another 6 days a week. So this is not really productive. It never was. And yeah, if I had a company like this, then I would set standards like a 4-day work week, like Microsoft has been doing. And it would solve a little bit more of these problems. Like, for example, like Japanese people having babies or getting married. Why do you think they're not doing that? It's because, again, they are married to their work. They are married to their company. That's their first marriage. So, good for
the
Microsoft.
norm. So how exactly
で、はい、7時半とか8時
Shut up. I usually work 7:30 to 8 p.m. No, you do not. You do not. What he's trying to say is, I am at my office from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. But in terms of work, doing the actual work, it's not from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. It's usually like I do a couple hours of work, actual work. But the rest of the time, I'm reading a book, I'm scanning websites, I'm playing with my phone, I'm playing computer games, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm drinking coffee, I'm chatting with my coworkers, I'm going for a cigarette smoke. That's what he's really saying. So,
時半ぐらいまでやってるんで、まあ10時間11時間ぐらいです。
yeah, yeah.
実際働いてる時間
なんか人生が楽しめない。
Most of them haven't been able to enjoy their life. Well, duh, because again, you can't enjoy life when you're married to your job. You're expected to be at your desk 6 days a week for like 12 hours a day. And the reason they do that is because the boss does that. And the boss does that, everybody has to do that. It's like uniformity. It's this herd mentality that pissed me off. And you know what the funny thing is? Like, I remember that all the foreign workers that were on staff at my job, they all left at 6 p.m. Why? Because they had families to go back home to. You know, they had kids, they had wives, they had dinner plans and all that. And were they looked down upon by their Korean coworkers? Yes, they were. That was like they were seen as very rude and it's not appropriate. You're supposed to stay until the boss leaves. But they said, fuck it. No. I have a life. I'm a foreigner. I got my wife and kids to go back home to and take care of. So I respect them for leaving early or leaving us on the appropriate time when they're not getting paid anymore, because they don't get paid overtime. No, they don't, on paper they don't. So when their contract says like work ends at 6 p.m. and they don't get paid beyond that, then they leave, and that's smart. But is it smart in the long run? Who knows? Who knows if they're still there? But at least they had balance in their life. They knew what limits they had in themselves, and that limit for most foreigners is they can't work from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. or like to beyond. And then there's company dinners and then karaoke and all this bullshit. It's really like, yeah, it's like being part of the mafia. So you can't get out. And if you do, they'll kill you. And if you stay long, and the longer you stay in the mafia, the more chances you'll die from your work. That's what it's like, seriously. So anybody who tells me, should I work for a Japanese company in Japan or a Korean company in Japan? My answer is no. Hell no. Unless it's a foreign-run company. So, for example, if Microsoft in Japan, like Microsoft, American company, American, American management in Japan, then yes, definitely. So I had one friend that I grew up with, he had a job at this foreign company in Korea, and yeah, he told me about their rules and their standards. So yeah, everybody goes home at 5 p.m. Right? There's nobody stays overtime. Yeah, it's because again, it's a foreign company, so it was great for him because yeah, it was such a breath of fresh air, being able to leave on time and enjoy the rest of his day with his girlfriend. So there you go. So yeah, check out this this video because this guy this guy pisses me off.
それについては驚かれますか？
いやそれだけ普段だらだら仕事してんだな。
Shut up. Shut up. See, this is what I'm talking about. This isn't a perfect example of the old style, old way of thinking. It's so funny reading the comments from this guy. Everybody thinks they want to shout, "Okay, boomer," to this old guy. I really want to say, "Okay, boomer," to that old man. Yeah, totally boomer. Like, this is such a typical example of someone who is closed-minded, and he's stuck in the old way of thinking, and there's no way forcing him out. So, lazy work ethics, no, that's not true.